What makes the female narcissist so disarming is her mastery of perception. She doesn't control you by force. She controls the narrative around her. She moves through the world with a mask of warmth, grace, and empathy, carefully crafted to mirror what society most admires in women. People see kindness where there is calculation, vulnerability where there is manipulation. And because her behavior aligns with what we want to believe about femininity, her darkness goes unnoticed. This is how she gains protection, not through power, but through collective blindness. Her charm isn't superficial, it's strategic. She studies social dynamics like a silent psychologist, reading emotions, calibrating responses, shaping how others feel about her. The danger lies in her ability to convince not just you, but everyone around you that she is incapable of cruelty. And when that illusion solidifies, your truth becomes fiction in the eyes of others. To see through her mask, you must be willing to confront your own unconscious biases, to recognize how easily goodness can be imitated and how silence can be used as a weapon. Because the greatest deception she performs is not against you, but against the collective belief of what evil looks like. The female narcissist doesn't dominate through aggression. She conquers through emotional distortion. Her manipulation lives in the subtle, almost invisible shifts of conversation, tone, and timing. She doesn't raise her voice. She rearranges your perception. When you confront her, she feigns confusion, hurt, or disbelief so convincingly that you begin to doubt the clarity of your own mind. She twists facts into feelings and feelings into guilt until you start apologizing for the pain she caused you. This is gaslighting at its most refined. Psychological warfare disguised as emotional intimacy. She weaponizes empathy, turning your desire to understand her into your own undoing. Every time you question her behavior, she frames it as an attack, and every attempt to set boundaries becomes proof of your coldness. The result is emotional exhaustion, a slow erosion of your sense of reality. The tragedy is that by the time you realize what's happening, you've already learned to mistrust your instincts. But the path back to yourself begins there, in reclaiming the authority of your own perception. Because once you trust what you feel and stop explaining what you see, her entire illusion collapses under the weight of your awareness. When the narcissist is a woman, society's response becomes part of her defense mechanism. People are conditioned to see women as nurturers, not manipulators, as victims, not predators. This bias is deeply ingrained in the collective psyche. It's an archetype that blinds us to the darker expressions of femininity. So when you speak the truth about her cruelty, it doesn't align with what others believe a woman is capable of. They don't see her malice. They see your misunderstanding. They tell you she's just emotional, sensitive, or misunderstood. In that moment, the world protects her image and punishes your reality. This is the shadow of the collective, as Jung would call it, the part of human perception that refuses to see darkness in forms we idealize. And because of this blindness, many victims of female narcissists are silenced, shamed, or dismissed. They stop speaking, not because they've run out of truth, but because truth has become too costly. Yet awakening begins when you stop seeking validation from a world still asleep. The moment you see the archetype for what it is, not divine, but human. Her power dissolves. Awareness breaks illusion, and illusion is her only weapon. What makes the female narcissist truly dangerous is not her anger, but her affection. She doesn't dominate through fear. She binds you through emotional dependency. In the beginning, her love feels almost sacred, as if she sees into the deepest parts of you. But what she's really doing is studying you, mapping your vulnerabilities, your moral codes, your emotional triggers. Every gesture of warmth is data, and every confession you make becomes a future weapon. Her affection is not love, it's leverage. Over time, she teaches you that peace only exists when she is pleased. You begin to chase her approval, mistaking control for connection. The more you try to keep her happy, the more she tightens her emotional grip, rewarding obedience with tenderness and punishing authenticity with withdrawal. This is not a relationship. It's conditioning disguised as devotion. Eventually, you lose sight of where she ends and you begin. And that's the point. She wants ownership of your emotional identity. But the truth is, love without freedom is not love at all. Real love expands the self, narcissistic love erases it. The moment you remember that difference, her illusion of power begins to crumble. When you finally decide to speak the truth about her, you step into a silent battlefield. The female narcissist will not fight you with logic. She'll fight you with reputation. She understands that perception is power, and so she crafts a story where you become the unstable one, the ungrateful one, the cruel one who never appreciated her love. And because her public persona is built on charm and empathy, people believe her. You watch as friends, family, even strangers rally to defend her, not because they know the truth, but because they can't imagine her being capable of deceit. This is the most isolating phase of awakening. The moment you realize truth alone is not enough to be believed. But this isolation has purpose. It strips away illusion, revealing who sees you and who only sees the mask she built. It forces you to rely not on validation, but on clarity. The lesson is painful but profound. Sometimes standing in truth means standing alone. Yet in that solitude, something sacred happens. Your perception returns to you, unfiltered, unmanipulated, and alive. And that is the beginning of real freedom, the kind no narcissist can ever take away. Freedom from the female narcissist begins the moment you stop needing others to validate your pain. Healing doesn't come from exposing her, it comes from reclaiming yourself. The power she held over you was never truly hers. It existed in your desire to be understood, to be seen, to be believed. Once you detach from that need, her illusion collapses. You stop reacting, stop explaining, stop feeding the narrative she built to keep you entangled. In that silence, something shifts. You begin to hear your own voice again. Liberation is not dramatic, it's quiet. It's the calm that follows when you no longer seek justice from those who refuse to see the truth. You start to understand that your peace doesn't depend on their awakening, but on your own. The narcissist loses her power the moment you stop existing inside her story and start writing your own. As Jung taught, the light you seek emerges only after you confront the darkness within and around you. And when you finally make that darkness conscious, not to hate it, but to understand it, you transcend it. Awareness is the end of manipulation, and awareness, once awakened, never sleeps again.